Hey friends, welcome to the 49th episode of the Sunday Knitting Society podcast. My name is Chelsea and I'm a knitter in Oklahoma City. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. Hope you guys have had a good 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks? 2 weeks. I've had a banner 2 weeks. It's been great. I apologize if my throat sounds kind of like froggy. It's early. I'm doing this early on Saturday morning for a few reasons, but also like I think my asthma is flaring just a little bit. Like I'm having to catch my breath a little bit more, so if I sound winded, it's just asthma. It's seasonal. I mean, asthma is year-round, but it tends to kind of get worse seasonally. So got my coffee and all the knits today. So I just wanted to give a little disclaimer at the beginning of this episode. This is going to be a very acquisition heavy episode. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I just got back from Flock, which was amazing. And I bought a lot. I bought a lot of yarn. So if that's not your jam, probably isn't the best episode for you. I do have some FOs and some whips, so I'm going to go through those first and then talk a little bit more about Flock. Yeah. I'm going to have some giveaways, and I have a couple giveaways for a couple reasons. One, because of Flock, because I wanted to share the love. And also, I think I think Tuesday is the 2nd anniversary of my podcast. That's wild. I mean, gosh, that's crazy. So I'll have a couple different giveaways. So that'll be at the end of the episode. Let's see if there's any other housekeeping. I got a new air conditioner, literally the day before we left for Flock. It broke on Sunday and I got some guys out to repair it. And in the process of repairing it, they realized that my compressor was like on death's door. So they replaced it on Wednesday and I left on Thursday for Flock. But the new AC is very powerful. I had been having to like turn down my AC and turn it down just to get my house cool. And I'm realizing now that's because my compressor was on death's door. And this new compressor is young and healthy. And I don't have to run my AC quite as much, but I'm just warning you because when it comes on, it is powerful and loud. It's not loud in the sense, like the unit is quiet, but it blows air through the vents quite forcefully, and it's shocking because my previous AC was quite weak, and so often you didn't hear, like I don't think you could hear it in the videos when my AC would kick on, but if you hear a big whoosh of air, that's my new AC. So yay for that. Also yay for financing because I had yarn to buy, and I have yarn to buy next month. So we needed to not have to use AC or yarn money for AC, so yay for that. Okay, let me see if there's a safe place to put this. Okay, we're just gonna try not to kick that. Okay, let's start with the with the FOs. I have 2 FOs. The first one is a pair of socks. So I knit these during Flock. I don't remember when I finished one. I think I finished one on the airplane. No, I finished one the first night when we actually were in Bellingham. And this is some sock yarn that I got in Wichita at the Handweavers Guild of America conference. Sorry guys, I'm just realizing I forgot to take my allergy medicine. So if I sneeze a lot in this episode, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try not to rub my nose. Anyway, so this is some yarn I bought there. When I started knitting this up, I usually knit my socks on a 1.5 US needle, and it was just not the right match for this yarn. It was making the socks huge. So I went down to a US 1. And then after I finished turning the heel, I tried it on and it was like way too tight for my foot. And my mom just happened to be sitting on the couch next to me, and she has smaller feet than me. So she joked, she's like, "Oh, socks for me." So I had her try them on, and it fits her perfectly. So I actually knit these for her. So these are smaller than what I would normally knit. My foot, I would need like another 1.5 inches. But these are now hers, and I told her she had to wait till Christmas to get them. But her birthday's also in October, so maybe she'll get them for her birthday. So I used some mini skeins in my stash. This mini skein, I'm almost convinced is a DK. And I didn't realize that till I started knitting, so it is thick. But I feel like for a heel, that's not a big deal. And then this was another mini skein. So they're not a perfect match, but I do feel like they work pretty well with the color theme on the sock. And I forget, I think these are my May socks. I don't know. They're May, because I think I just started my June socks. So just a little behind. It's fine. Okay. And then the biggie. This is the big FO. I am so incredibly proud of myself for finishing this FO in a timely manner. And I actually finished it before the child is born on Monday. He will not get it at his birth because he's being born in another state. And obviously today is Saturday. I have not mailed it yet. So, but his mom's birthday is, my best friend's birthday is like a week after this. So I think I'm going to do a combo package for her birthday present and his birthday present. So I have it like folded and it's really sweet. But this is the Tumbling Blocks blanket by PurlSoho. I made the crib blanket size. Oh gosh. In this really beautiful Celadon colorway. This is from the Wandering Flock. I messed up on that first triangle, but who cares? It's just a really sweet pattern. It's very intuitive. So it was not hard to knit at all. This yarn is super fine merino. I think it's for worsted. And somebody did ask, like, aren't you worried that the parents will accidentally wash this and put it through the washing machine? Yes, that's always a concern. But I don't want to use acrylic. I don't enjoy using acrylic for the most part. And so I wanted to use something wool. And what I've always done when I make baby knits is I make a little piece of paper and I usually print it and I tell the instructions for how to care for it. I also usually send it with a little miniature eucalyptus. Or like right now I don't have any of that. I've used all of them, so I would probably just like add it, like buy it on Amazon and have it shipped to her or something. But I also usually put a clause in there that if you're scared to wash this, mail it to me and I will wash it and send it back. And I do that. Most of my friends that I knit baby things for are local, and so I just tell them, you know, if you're scared to wash it, give it back to Aunt Chelsea. She'll wash it and give it back. But yes, I send it with care instructions. And you know, worst case scenario, they wash it. It's not the end of the world. It'll just be a doll blanket. But I also think a lot of people will treat these kind of precious. And so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of times these blankets are really more for show. I hope not. I hope they do get used, but because knits shouldn't be precious. They should be used. I would love to, in a few years, come and visit and find this blanket has like tons of holes in it and like stains on it. I think that's just part of using a baby using a blanket. So it's so soft. Oh, this yarn is delightful. Oh, I gotta remember, I looked very pale this morning, so I put bronzer on, so I have to be careful, like rubbing my face all over these. Okay, that's my only FOs. I have a few whips. So I'll start with the first one. So this isn't a new bag. I actually got it before Flock. I have a few bags I got before flock. This is from Tanny Casey. I actually saw her on the ferry over to Bainbridge, and I had this bag in my tote, and I almost was like, ah! But I didn't. I restrained myself. Oh, there's my readers. I forgot I left them in here. I always have to travel with those because my vision is, where is this sock? My vision is so bad that if I drop a stitch and I don't have readers, I'm screwed. Okay, so this is a colorway. This is my next sock. This is by Woolens and Nosh, and this is the Read Band Books colorway, or I Read Band Books. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so autumnal too, which is just like, that's where my brain is right now. So yeah, so we had a delay. Forgot about this. We were coming home, we flew through Salt Lake, and once we got on our flight in Salt Lake, so we're on the plane getting ready to taxi away from the gate, and just all the power shuts off. And everybody's like, should we be worried? So everything came back on. The captain came on and just kind of joked. He's like, sorry guys, somebody forgot to pay the power bill. We got everything back up and running, and then we taxied away, and we're in line for the runway, and we don't take off, and we just park. And the captain came on and basically said, hey, there's some weather coming this way, so we're just gonna like stay on the ground for 20 minutes, and then it'll be safer for us to take off. So 20 minutes comes along, and he's like, all right, a couple airline or like flights are going to be the guinea pigs and gonna take off, and we're gonna see how it goes for them. And the first one I see go on the runway is Spirit Airlines, and I just had to laugh because I'm like, of course they're the guinea pigs. Anyway, so they took off, and so like, okay, everything's fine, we're gonna take off. And we start to take off, and then we just stop. Like, we braked and drove around, and we're all like, what the heck? So I guess when we had powered down while we were waiting for 20 minutes, when we restarted everything, one of the engines did not restart appropriately. And they got a warning signal when they started to take off, so they stopped. And then they just did another reboot, made sure everything was working fine, and then we got to take off. And it was a fine flight. It was totally fine. I think they handled it very well. If you were an anxious flyer, that would be the flight from hell for you. But I'm not. I'm a very good flyer. I love turbulence. I get like giddy when we get turbulence, which my mom does not. But anyway, so I basically knit all of this waiting to taxi. Which, I mean, I feel like that's a lot. I got through every stripe before we started to taxi. So this will be a slow knit. I might bring this with me on my trip next month. I'm going to Copenhagen next month, and I will have a lot of airtime. If I'm trying to knit 12 socks in a year, 12 pairs of socks in a year, that would be the prudent decision. If I'm trying to pack light, that's the prudent decision. What my heart wants to do is knit a sweater. So we'll see if that happens. But that is the first whip. Okay. Such a mess down here. Okay, the second whip barely has any work on it, but it's in a quilt bag, and it is my DRK framed. It looks like a pretzel right now. Okay. So there we go. So this is what I have so far. It's not much, but it's a little bit. So I am using the Farmer's, the Spinster's Daughter. Oh shoot. Let's look, I have it in here. Okay. It is the Spinster's Daughter Worsted. So this is my main color, which is Many Moons. And then somewhere down in here, I'm just gonna pull this up. This is Clay Dreaming. This is my frame color. And then my contrast or my spin cycle is Ghost Ranch, because I just felt like it's gonna go so well. I love this clay color. I'm be honest, this color was a little yellow for me, but I'm gonna go with it. I still think when it's in the mix, I think it'll look really pretty. I have not had motivation to work on this because I'm working on something else that I want to finish before I go to Copenhagen. Yeah, this hasn't gotten a ton of work. I also just like, I like the pattern. It's very bold. And it's, frankly, it's not something that I think I'll wear a lot. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't know. I don't know that I'm gonna wear this a ton. And so that's kind of where my hesitation is like, how much do I really want to like try to finish this urgently? It's worsted, so it'll go so fast. But I don't know. It's bottom up too, and then you have to color work flat, and that just doesn't sound fun. But I do like that it's being held in a quilting bag. That just feels appropriate. So, okay, one whip left. I mean, I'm just flying through these. This whip is the one I'm most excited about. I am working on it a ton. Oh dang, I forgot my needle stoppers. You'll just have to imagine them. I'm not going back downstairs to get them. This doesn't have a collar yet, so it looks funky. But this is my Poppy Tee by PetiteKnit, and I'm, excuse me, I'm knitting it entirely in Sanus Garn Alpaca. And I believe this is the Poppy colorway. Mine doesn't actually have a name on it, but it's 4008. But I bought a bunch of this while I was stuck on another plane. This is so soft. I mean, it's gonna be so warm too. It's gonna be, which is great because right now, Scandinavia, like when I've been checking temperatures in Copenhagen and Stockholm and Oslo, they're like in the 50s to 70s, mostly like 50s, 60s. So it's gonna be perfect. I am gonna make it short sleeve. I think it's gonna be like almost like this, where it's short sleeve, but it's not like really short sleeve. I need to put a collar on it. I think once the collar's done, it looks like a sweater. Right now it looks weird. Actually, it doesn't look too weird, but it'll look better with a collar. But I split for the sleeves. I have about 2.5 inches done on the body. I have like this much left of, this is my 4th ball. So this does go through a surprising amount of yarn. It's knit on a US 4. So it's not a DK weight, it's a sport weight sweater. So the way you start it is you do this little first back panel. So this I used as my swatch. So this has been blocked and you can see how much nicer it looks. Like this just looks all kinds of wonky, but that looks nice. So I actually got perfect gauge on this, which was pretty cool. So I think what I'm going to do is finish out the ball that I'm using for the body, put it on try-on cords, and then knit the collar. I might knit the sleeves because they'll be quick anyway, so maybe tomorrow I'll do the collar and the sleeves, and then I just have to finish the body. I think I'll finish this well before my trip, so that's going to be the goal. Let's finish it. This, again, it's gonna be so warm, but this is great. So I'm going to Copenhagen for a conference, and so the first week I do have to dress professionally, but then the second week is vacation, and so I can dress however I want. And I plan to do quite a bit of yarn shopping now. With all the yarn shopping I did this past week, I've kind of like, there's a part of me that's like, I think you got enough. Maybe don't buy as much. But I'm also recognizing that when I get there, the yarn fumes are going to hit me. And there's also stuff over there that I don't have easy access to here. Like I can get it, but the shipping is really high. And so it's nice to just bring it with me. And I just totally lost my train of thought, guys. I completely just forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, so I plan on bringing yarn home with me. So I'm trying to like pack lightly on the way out. And so the most things I can bring that can double as both professional and vacation clothes, the better. I'm going to be re-wearing a lot, and I have no problem with that. I'm going to be around strangers. They won't know me. I'm also moving cities every 2 to 3 days. So, you know, not a big deal. But this I think will be perfect because it's going to be very warm, but it'll also be short sleeve so I can still layer it. And yeah, I think it'll look good on me. I did get my nails done, and I realized halfway through getting my nails done that I picked the same color as the sweater. I was like, obviously I have this sweater on my brain. Also, oh gosh, the allergies. This sweater is sitting in my new bag from the Fat Squirrel, which is also a quilt bag. So she did a show a few weeks ago, and she posted online all the leftover stuff from that show. And I bought 2 bags from her. So this is the first one. I did not pay any attention to the size, and I just kind of assumed they were all the same. But like, these are both her bags. And obviously I got the smaller bag, which is honestly fine because I don't have any from her in this size. So let's just dump all this out. It's like, I can't zip it with this sweater in it right now, but I think this would be perfect for travel actually, because you could fit a few balls of yarn in your project, and it would fit better into another bag. So, I think that's it, y'all. Oh, yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So that's all I have for, FOs and whips. The rest is acquisitions. So buckle up, y'all. This could be such a long episode. This is crazy. Okay, so let's see. I kind of wanted to give another preface before I go through this. Just because we all come from different places when it comes to yarn budgets. And my intention is never, ever to make anybody feel bad or feel left out or feel like they just can't match my budget. That's not the point. I'm showing this because I'm so excited about it. I have a good income. I have no debt. This is my first show that I went to without any debt. The other thing, just kind of, because I will be honest, the night before we left, I laid in bed with my mom snoring in the bed next to me. So it was kind of hard to fall asleep. But I laid there thinking, Chelsea, what have you done? Like, what happened? And to be clear, I regret nothing. I don't regret a single purchase that I made. I love everything I got, but I bought a lot. I bought more than I've ever bought at a yarn festival before. So as I go through this, I see it. I see how ridiculous this is. I will also point out that today am getting delivered a new shelf because, as you can see, these are full and I am at max capacity. Like, all the stuff I bought at Flock has been on this guest bed because I can't fit it on these shelves. And as I was coming home, I get these from West Elm, and they did have them on sale, and they had them in stock, and so they're coming by this afternoon to deliver a third one. So I will also continue to say, when people say that I buy a lot of yarn, it isn't cocaine. This is a healthy hobby. I'm just very enthusiastic about it. Okay. So I'm going to try to do this. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to try to do this in chronological order. No promises. I'm probably going to be all over the place. I'm sure I'm going to forget things. Okay. So before I left, I had a couple purchases. So I showed you that one bag from Fat Squirrel. This is the other one, and I'll be honest, I'm actually even more excited about this one. It's so cute. I bought the Scandalous Carrots root vegetables one, and it's the size, and it's perfect for socks. I love this size so much. So when I saw she had this one in this print, I was like, yes, please, thank you. So maybe when I travel, oh shoot, sorry, my neighbor just, we're gonna sit back here and hope he can't see us for a little bit. He did look straight up at the window, so the window's not open, so he can't hear me, but he must be going to get coffee this morning or something. Anyway, okay. So that is the bag I bought before Flock. And then the other thing I bought before Flock, which was kind of silly because I could have gotten it at Flock, is I got some of the Sandra Yarn Fleece and Flax. So this is her BFL and linen. And I got it in the Rise and Shine colorway. So I have an idea for this. I think this is a Sport DK. Oh, it's fingering. So years ago, I started making the Wool and Honey sweater by Andrea Mowry. I loved it, but it was, so it's a top down, but I think, I don't remember if I swatched or I must have. I almost always swatch, but I think my swatch lied. And when I tried it on, it was huge. Like, I think it had like 15 inches of positive ease on me. And so I ripped it out, but I really liked it. And I actually thought this would be perfect for that. It would be very fun, textured. This still has enough wool in it that it doesn't really feel like a summer weight, but it does kind of have that kind of scruffy linen look, which I say in a good way. I like the scruffy linen look. So I got 4 of these. So yeah, I'll make myself a sweater out of that. Duh. Okay. I actually had to go buy well, I didn't have to. I bought a tub to put all this in because I actually didn't know when I was going to get the shelf. And I was like, I'm going to need a way to organize this as I go through it. Okay, so that was before I left. And then when we got there, let's see. So we, brain come together. So my friend Ophelia picked us up from the airport, which was awesome. I'm a good driver, but I don't like driving. So I was very happy that she offered to drive, and we drove up to Bellingham, and she actually brought goodies for us. And so Ophelia sews, and she sewed us project bags. Look how cute these are. Like, and then are you ready for the inside? Oh, it's so cute. But it's a little drawstring, and the beads on the drawstring are like little balls of yarn. I don't know if you can see that. Mine never actually likes to focus. But so I have another project bag. So thank you, Ophelia. Okay, so our first stop was Spin Cycle, and I'm actually very proud of myself, guys. I showed remarkable restraint in Spin Cycle, but the first thing I got was some dyed in the wool, and this colorway is, where is it? Bellecour. And I've used Bellecour before, but this is the moodiest Bellecour. Like, I feel like when I've used it before, it's been very yellow. And so this is like very autumnal. Like, are these not the most perfect skeins? I have no idea what they're gonna be, but they need to be something this fall, in like an epic color work. They almost kind of fade too. Like, they're so pretty. So those are the first 3 I got. Did I buy? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I did. Okay. So I got these 2. So these are, where the heck is the name? These 2 are Reckless Abandon. And I thought maybe those would be good for my bow sweater, but I've gotten others since then that I think this won't be the bow sweater, but I just like the like oranges and purples and pinks. I just thought these were very pretty. And that is the only dyed in the wool I got. I kind of wanted to get myself some Trine yarn. But none of the colors they had in the shop really spoke to me. But what did was this, is it Metamorphosis or Metamorphic? Which is a DK weight. No, is it DK or I think it's DK. Shows how much I pay attention to this. Let's see. Yes, it's 400 yards of DK. So this is like a mega skein. And it's just this beautiful like taupe color, and it's not picking this up super well on the camera, but it does have like variations. Like it's a very tonal. And I bought 4 of these, and I think what I want to make with this is the Spacetime sweater by Heidi Kirrmaier. I might be getting that totally wrong, but it will be in the description box. If I talk about a pattern, it will be down there. Now I'm like, oh, no, wait, I think I maybe got that wrong. But anyway, so that's what this might be. It's a fairly stiff yarn, but it's also in a really tight hank. And so I feel like when you unwind it and you start working with it, it'll probably feel a lot softer. It's just so pretty. So I'm glad I got some of this. I wanted to kind of feel those yarns and see them in person before I bought them, because like if I had seen this on the website, I probably wouldn't have been all excited about it, but seeing it in person and just seeing all the like variations in the yarn, it sold me on it. So that is all I got at Spin Cycle. Now I bought more Spin Cycle, but not at the shop. So that was the first day, and we got a cute little Airbnb. We had a wonderful dinner at the Bellevue Cider Company. We all got fish, and they were, it was honestly some of the best fish I've ever had. And they obviously have cider, and I think my mom got like strawberry rhubarb cider. I forget what Ophelia got, but I couldn't make up my mind, so I got a flight. And my favorite was the cucumber cider, which sounds weird, but it was so good. So yeah, so that was our first night. We just kind of chilled afterward and knitted for a while, and then next morning we got up and we had breakfast at Mount Bakery, which was delicious. We got some Queen of Moms, which is a very yummy little pastry. We got those to go. Drove down to Seattle and checked into our hotel, and then we took the ferry over to Bainbridge and ate our Queen of Moms on the ferry, which was delicious. And the first place we went was Lamb and Kid, and I'm actually very proud of myself here too, because I did not buy loads. I bought some, but I didn't buy a ton. So it's keeping with Spin Cycle. So I got some of their store colorway, which is Pinky Swear, and I think one of these is one probably this one is the one I'm gonna use for my sweater, because this just feels so I keep saying for my sweater, and I don't think I've told you guys what sweater. So I haven't made any progress on it, so I didn't show it, but it's my bow sweater. So it's one that I'm using the Strange Brew pattern from Tin Can Knits. And I found this bow motif in a Japanese knitting book, that at some point I would like to actually knit the whole sweater or vest, but oh, okay, sorry. I just saw a kid walking by themselves and I was like, where's your parent? But I see the dad. So anyway, so I am at the point now where I can start the bow motif, but I wanted to use Spin Cycle and I couldn't decide. I obviously have a lot of Spin Cycle. I went through all of that. None of it felt quite right, but I think this is the one. I think this will make really pretty bows. And it'll be against a dark charcoal. So I got 2 just because in case I ran out. Also, like, I don't think I'm capable of only buying 1 skein of Spin Cycle. I don't think I can get a single skein. So I got that. One other yarn that I saw on Stress Knits podcast, Stacy's podcast. So she's knitting a sweater, and I forget what sweater it is, but her base color that she's using for it is Elmer fingering from the Lamb & Kid, which is a 80% merino, 20% cashmere fingering weight. And I really wanted to try some of it. And they had, I think they've had some on their website. Occasionally they do it as like a dyed to order. But I really wanted to see them in person, and they didn't have a ton of colors of this. They had like their base colors, but I ended up getting a sweater's quantity of the cashew, which is blowing out. It's a very warm beige. Like maybe there you can see a little better. I don't know. It's just gonna blow out, and that's, yeah, more like it. So I got 5 skeins of this to make a sweater, and I don't know exactly what sweater I'm going to make with this yet. I like the idea of doing some color work with this because I think it could be like, this would be a good canvas for some color work. But one thing I thought about is waiting until they do a dyed to order with this stuff and buying a few skeins of some really cool colors and then doing a color work all in Elmer. But it's very soft. Now, again, it's also in a pretty stiff skein. It's very tightly wound. So I think once you unwind it and cake it up, it'll be so soft. I mean, it's merino and cashmere. How could it not be? But I'm very happy. And one thing you'll probably see, all the sweater quantities I got, except for one, are very, well, I guess 2, very muted. Apparently I wanted all beigey colors, but so that was the next sweater quantity. And then I had 2 more things I bought while I was there. I really wanted a sweater's quantity of Todd DK, and they had a lot of Todd worsted, but they didn't have very much DK. And they, on their website, they're like almost like they have like 4 colorways left. So I managed to find a couple, and so I got these 2. This is Stone and this is Radish. Radish might be one of my favorite colorways ever. I actually have an entire sweater quantity in Trio and Birdie, but so I didn't buy, I think they did have quite a bit of this, and I was very tempted to just buy a sweater quantity, but I thought, you already have one. You don't need 2 sweaters in this color. But these are so soft. So these are 65% yak, 35% cashmere. These are small skeins. I think they do sell it in 50-gram skeins or 100-gram skeins. These are 50s. But I thought this would make a really pretty color work hat. I've really been loving the Opie hats, or like patterns. So I will tag some of those in the like patterns that I mentioned. They're just so colorful and fun. And actually one of my purchases is based off of one of those hats. Like I specifically sought out these colors because I wanted to make a hat with those colors. I didn't get the right weight, so I'll have to find a different pattern, but yeah, so these, there's a hat sheet, or I don't know, but it's got like a base color and then a like rose motif in it, and I thought this would be perfect for that. So I'm getting full. Y'all, this isn't even, we aren't even to flock yet. We're still pre-flock. Okay, so after Lamb & Kid, we went over to La Mercerie, which is also on Bainbridge. I've actually been to the La Mercerie shop before, but it was back when it was Church Mouse yarns. So that's kind of fun, like getting to see that again. I also forgot how cute that area is. Like there's a lot of shops and restaurants and cafes, and it's just really cute. It was busy too because it was Friday afternoon and it was like the Friday of flock. And apparently there was also a Mariners game, so the ferries were very busy. But there were a few things. I don't remember what I bought there. Okay, I think, okay. So one thing I had to buy was their Spin Cycle Plump. This is Pale September, which is La Mercerie's color. It was just so pretty. I already have some of their dyed in the wool, so I didn't buy any more of that, but I kind of like the idea of doing a hat with the plump, maybe for one of my nieces for Christmas, maybe for me, who knows? But it's just a really pretty, I feel like Pale September is such a perfect description or like name for this color, but I love it. Okay, there's one other yarn at this store that was just calling to me, and it was one of those purchases that later, I mean, I kind of thought about it and I thought, you could have bought this online. Like, you didn't need to buy this there, but I'm so glad I got it, and I think I know what I'm gonna make with it. So this is Biche Bouche, and it's Le Lambswool, which is a light worsted kind of DK, and it's just so pretty. Again, going with the neutrals. And let's see, so this is 185 yards in 50 grams. 50 grams? Yeah, 50 grams. I had to buy a lot of these because they're in 50-gram balls. So I can't hold them all, but I got 8 of these, which takes up a ton of room in your bag. But I think I want to make the clay sweater. I forget who it's by. I want to say it's Ozetta, but I could be totally wrong. Again, it'll be in the description box. I swatched with this one, with my, there we go. That was convenient. So I swatched with some of my unspun. I don't even know if you can see it that well. Is that oh, because it's backwards. So it's kind of this like, it's all just like garter bumps and stockinette, but it's so pretty. The problem with when I swatched with it with the unspun, this is supposed to be a 4-inch swatch, and I think this is an 8-inch swatch. So obviously I didn't hit gauge, but it's such a pretty sweater, and I think it would lend itself well to more of a rustic yarn. So I think that's what I'm gonna make. And I think I have the right weight, because I think it's supposed to be a DK. So that's the plan. Let me see if I can show like a close-up, because it's just, it's another one that like, it's not just a pink, it's like, it's got some subtle changes in it. I don't know if you could see that at all, but I just thought it was such a pretty color. So put all these in the tub. This is gonna be real fun to reorganize my shelves today. Actually, it is gonna be fun, but it's also gonna be like a lot of work. It'll be so much work. It's okay. Okay, one other thing that is yarn adjacent that I bought in the shop was a book. This is the Making Stories, and it's just like it's a kids collection. And I will insert a picture here. This is what I saw. They're little hot air balloons that are like Fair Isle. And I don't, yeah. So here it is. Isn't that the cutest? And they had it in such cute colors that I was like, that would be such a sweet present for a baby. And all my friends are like in the having babies phase right now. So they had like little baby socks. They had a blanket. I'm gonna find another really good one. They had these little mittens. Where'd they go? Oh, come here. Oh, they had this cutie little hat. Isn't that so cute? I hope you can see that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like a little, actually, is that a sock? Oh, it's a sock. But they also have mittens. Like, and that kid is just so cute. So I bought this so that I could make those little hot air balloons, and it's a tiny little book. So, it's super cute. I'm glad I got that. That is all I bought at La Mercerie. See, restraint. I could have bought so many more things. I didn't even look at the Knitting for Olive wall. I did not walk over there because I am going to Denmark next month, and my plan is to make it out to the Knitting for Olive shop. So I'm gonna buy some Knitting for Olive in Denmark. I also, one of my all-time favorite sweaters, like literally my most worn sweater every winter, is a Monday sweater that I knit out of De Rerum Natura Ulysse. Yeah. it is such a good sweater. The yarn is amazing, and La Mercerie has a huge selection of it. And there was one colorway that I was like, I want this. And it was the cedar colorway, or it's French. I can't pronounce the R-E, cèdre. It's this perfect like juniper green. But I told myself I could not buy it that weekend because it's something I can very easily buy online. And now I know what color I want. So I will probably at some point this year or next year buy that, because I think like what's interesting is when I wear my sweaters every winter. I wear them to work. I wear them out and about. Like, I don't wear store-made sweaters anymore. If it's cold enough, I'm wearing a hand knit sweater. But what I typically gravitate towards are the boring sweaters. The things that are very like muted colors for the most part. Now I have some crazy colors and I love them. But like what I want to wear on a daily basis is like a neutral and not a lot of patterning, or not a lot of color work or whatever. And so I like just the basic ones. But what ends up happening is I wear the same sweater a few times a week, and it's just going to get worn. And so I thought, you know, if you can get some sweaters that are similar, very basic shape, but like a slightly different color, like kind of pushing out of my wheelhouse a little bit, then maybe I'll wear them more often. I don't know. Or I'll have more options to wear from. Not that I don't have options, but anyway. I do wear my options. Okay. So. Oh wait, I found one more. I forgot I bought this. This was at Lamb & Kid. This is apparently a new base from them. It's called Shed. It's 60% merino, 40% Romney, and it's a fingering weight, 400 yards per 100 grams, and I got it in the colorway Ginger Peachy. I think I was kind of thinking like these two would go really pretty together, so we'll see. I forgot what that one was hiding. Okay. I'm gonna try to reorganize something real quick because I tried to like put this in order so I wouldn't have to reach as much, but that obviously didn't work out as planned. The next day we went to Flock. I forget where we had dinner the night before Flock. We were with Ophelia the whole day, and she was like, oh, we should have lunch or dinner at Din Tai Fung, which is a dim sum place and she was like, there's gonna be a crazy line out the door. It's gonna take us a while. We weren't that hungry, so we're like, that's fine. We'll get hungry while we wait in line. And then we got there and they had a table right then. And so we actually didn't have to wait, and it was delicious. Oh my gosh. My mom and I actually had it a second time on that trip. We actually had it door dashed into our room because we were too tired to leave. But so we had a delicious dinner, and then we kind of had a slow morning. My mom actually was working remotely during this trip, and so I gave her some time to work in the hotel room. I knitted. We actually watched a Grocery Girls podcast because we could cast it to the TV, and so we just chilled that morning. And then we went to Flock. I had one thing that I was like, I have to get this on this trip. I have to. Anything else is gravy, but like I have to get this one thing, and that I got, and that was extra Pike Place and Gumwall and Pike Place from Explore Knits and Fibers in the Rockies DK. So I bought this last year, but I did not buy enough to make a sweater, or to make the sweater I wanted. And I just have to show you guys because it lost its ball band in there. I'm so impressed with them. These are bought, this is bought in 2023, this is in 2024. And look how identical they are. Like, I cannot see a difference between them. Like, that is insane. And fish that out of there. There we go. It was naked. Can't have naked yarn. Let's get Oh gosh, don't create an avalanche. This is the Pike Place. Again, bought 2 different years. Identical. It's crazy. So I bought more than I needed because I learned from last year. So I think last year I bought 3 skeins of the pink and 2 skeins of the red. I did the same thing again this year because I know what I want to make. And where'd my swatch go? Okay, I've swatched for it. I'm gonna make a Marseille sweater by the by PetiteKnit. So I swatched, this top swatch was in the recommended needle, which was a 6. This felt too loose. And so I actually went down and swatched on a 5, and this felt much better, and this actually hit gauge. So I'm gonna knit it on a 5 in case future Chelsea forgets what size needle she's supposed to use. I have now said it out loud on the podcast. So I have the first 2 skeins already caked up. And this, I'm itching to start this. This is happy. This is also very Chelsea colors. It's funny. When I was swatching for this, and then even after that, I was looking and I was like, red nails, and I've been wearing this color pink. And so I'm like, obviously this works for me. So yeah, so I got plenty of this. So I will have extra, and I'm okay with that because I can add this in other projects. But that is not all I got. No one is surprised. This was, so the first round, I went to their booth a few times. Well, twice. I went to their booth twice. I did it once on Saturday, once on Sunday. Sunday was so much more chill. But I stood in line for a while, and I was like so frantic that I was like, you have to get this yard, that I literally grabbed those skeins and then grabbed one other skein and just went and got in line. And then later was like, why didn't you look around more? So I got their Bainbridge colorway, which is just so pretty. Like, ugh, I don't know what this is going to be, but I got it in the Rockies DK. But I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit just because. So I went back on Sunday, and there were a couple of colorways that really spoke to me. So the first one was Rain Shadow, which is this beautiful pale blue. And then this one might be my new favorite color of all time from her. It's also in the Rockies DK because apparently that's all I wanted to buy. And it is Fireheart. And it is this scummy gold green, and this is coming out very gold. It's got a lot of green in it. Like you can kind of see it right here. It's like when the light hits it, it's like a green sheen on it. It is so pretty. Yeah, that's actually much better. So yeah, I think this color is gonna look awesome. There's a small part of me, and not so small, that was like, why didn't you buy a sweaters quantity? But that's okay. I don't need that many sweaters quantities. But what I actually thought was all of these would actually go really good together. So maybe this will be like a colorwork hat, even if it was just these two. Like if I did a hat and this was the colorwork, this was the main color, that'd be so pretty. And I could even flip it because I'd probably have enough in this to make 2 hats. If I add this in, I've definitely got enough for like 3 hats out of that. But so very happy with that. Okay, I don't know what order I got all the rest of these in. One other thing I really wanted to get this year, because I bought some last year and I ended up giving it away as a giveaway, but then I was like, oh, but you wanted to try that yarn. So I went back and got some. I actually got some on Saturday and then realized I probably didn't get enough, and so I went back and bought more on Sunday. So I got the San Juan Woolworks Spy Hop. And this is so cool. So this is, I love that they do this on the label. They tell you where the fiber was sourced. So it was sourced at Oak Knoll Farm in San Juan Island, Washington. It was shorn by Becca Shim and Mike Murphy on September 2022 and May 2023. It was scoured, carded, and spun at Skagit Woolen Mills and Abundant Earth Fiber Mill in Mount Vernon and Clinton, Washington. So it's just so traceable where all this fiber has been. It is a DK weight, and it is let's see. So it's island grown wool, so it's not breed specific necessarily. Oh no, it is, sorry. It's Finn and BFL cross lamb's wool. And it's the colorway sailcloth. So it is, so it's a little bit toothy, but it's so soft. And I'm just imagining this is going to, oh, don't put it on your face because you've got makeup. I think this is gonna just be such a lovely woolly sweater. So I got 5 skeins of this. And then they had a few that were, try to do this. They had some that were botanically dyed, and these were also DK, I believe. So these are Thistledew Special, Finn and East Frisian wool. Frisian? Also from San Juan Island. And this was botanically dyed, I think, did they say what it was with? Yeah, plum and chamomile. So this is also DK weight. So this is the first one, so pretty. And then the second one was with madder, and it says madder too, so I'm like, assume this was like an exhaust madder. But these just kind of, and then like mixed with this, like I feel like this needs to be a colorwork sweater. And actually what I was thinking about is doing like a round yoke, and then starting with this one or sort of either one. And when I get to the point that I want to switch, like halfway through the yoke depth, then do a 1x1 like columns of these two, and then just do this one, and then do 1x1 columns, and then split for the sleeves or whatever. And then maybe do the same on the cuffs. I just thought that'd be really fun. So I just need a, actually technically I already have a DK. I could just use my bow sweater, the word is escaping me. Tin Can Knits Strange Brew. I could just use my Strange Brew pattern for that, and I think that would be so pretty. So that was, I was really pumped about that. And then I'm gonna show this too, because I did get some fiber. I saw this on the first day and I was already out of room in my bag, and so I came back on Sunday and got it. I love that they twist it to look like a skein. I think that's so cute. So this is roving, it's Finn and BFL cross, so it's the same thing as the Spy Hop. It's almost the same color too. So this is 4 ounces. This is just, oh, it's so nice. Stop putting your face on things, Chelsea. I'm gonna get bronzer on it. Yeah, it's just so, oh, it's, okay, so it's Finn, Blueface Leicester, Coopworth, Romney, East Frisian. They tell you the staple length. It's it's 3 to 4 inch staple length, which is pretty cool. I can't wait to spin this. This is gonna be so lovely. No idea what I'm gonna do with it, but, and I only got one just because they were pretty bulky. I would have loved, if they end up having an update and I spin this and I love it, I might have to buy a sweaters quantity just because it's so nice. So I need to, I think I follow them on Instagram. There were a lot of people that I saw and I thought, why don't I follow you on Instagram? Like, y'all are amazing. And they were one. They were just such an amazing, their booth was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. They had so many things I wanted, but I restrained myself. So, okay. Ooh, friends. Okay, I'm gonna move things closer to me. Things have been shifted. Gosh, we're already an hour in. It's gonna be so long. Oy. Hopefully my phone doesn't run out of battery. Okay, so the next thing I bought, I've never bought from this dyer before, but I believe I follow them on Instagram. So this is Red Door Fibers. And on the flight to Seattle, I watched the Barbie movie for the first time. Loved it. It's so good. But this yarn, I was drawn to it because of the color, because like it's such a beautiful brown. It's just like chocolate. It's so great. But the name is Mojo Dojo Casa House. And I was like, oh, I have to get it. And this is another one that I only got one skein, and in hindsight I was like, oh, I want a sweater quantity in this. This would just make such a pretty, such a wearable sweater. But I got 3 colors. So I got that. I got Queen of Embers. And I got Psychic Blades. And I think she names a lot of her colorways after like fantasy books and like characters and themes, but I've read, I'm 2.5 books into A Court of Thorns and Roses. I got stressed out halfway through this 3rd book and I couldn't finish it. And I've read the first 2 of like Fourth Wing, and I can't remember what the other one's called. I read the 2nd book in that series. And that's where I end on fantasy. I started reading Crescent City. Well, I started listening to Crescent City and I could not stand the narrator's voice. So I stopped that one. But anyway, so a lot of these references are lost on me, but I thought these were really pretty. So very happy to get some of that. She also had stickers, and I got one of them, which I don't have up here, but it's a little skein of yarn with needles stuck through it, and it says a quart of woolen needles. I thought that was funny. Okay, let's go. Okay, I think the next one, I don't know what order I got these in. So I was introduced to this dyer. I've heard people talk of them before, but I'd never bought any of their yarn until last year, because they were a vendor at Wool & Folk, the bad one, and they really got hit hard. Like, they'd had a really, really bad show. And so afterward, when people were posting, like, here's these, like, the shops, online shops for these dyers, you know, support them if you can, I went ahead and bought 2 skeins last year of this fiber, or this base, which is, so it's Camellia Fiber Co. And it's the Sylvan Fingering, which is 70% alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. And it is a very light fingering, but it was the soft, it to this date is the softest yarn I've ever felt in my life. And I was so pumped to buy it, so I went back this year and I got more. So this is the Moonflower colorway. It's just this beautiful creamy white. And I got 4 skeins of it. And they had a sample in their booth of a shirt, like t-shirt, that was so pretty. And so I took a picture of it and I was like, that's what I want to make with this. And then I looked it up on Ravelry and it is not size inclusive. I think, I want to say the biggest size this one had was like a 49-inch bust. So I was like, no, we're not doing that. But I want to make, I think I want to make something that is either fingering weight. I might hold double, but I might not have enough if I hold double. I do have the same base in 2 other colorways. It's like a sage green and a gray. So I could do color work, but I don't really want to. So I might just knit a t-shirt in this. It's so drapey, so soft. This would also, if you have parents who are not going to machine wash it, this would be a good baby knit. The only downside is it does have a pretty good alpaca content, and that is going to make it hot. So maybe, maybe not. But this might be a good top for me. Okay. Let's go to this one. Oh, no, not that one. Where did the... I'm losing my mind, guys. There it is. Okay. I found another Explorer Knits I forgot I bought. Where did the other ones go? Oh, geez. Okay, so I bought that one. This one I've shown. This was Fireheart. I forgot I bought this one. This is Olive Grove. Also in the Rockies DK. So I just saw that there. I was like, oh crap, you bought that too. So I have quite the palette of Explorer Knits, and I think the Olive Grove one was from the Spain collection. Yeah, because I think I actually got fingering weight in one that was the Retiro Park, which has got a lot of this in it. Obviously I didn't think that through when I bought it, because I would have bought a fingering weight and I didn't. So now I have a DK. But I think it's beautiful. I'm happy with it. Okay. I'm just totally not going in order anymore, and I'm fine with that. Okay. So, I went to the Mercery. We're getting towards the end. I wouldn't say we're almost done. We're getting there. So I went to the Mercery booth, and they had a lot of good stuff. They had the Duran Natura. They had their own colorway. They had fiber. They had La Bien-Aimée. They had Sonder. And so I ended up, I hadn't tried this before and I wanted to feel it. So this is her new Sunday Morning Sport Luxe, or Luxe Sport, which is 65% BFL, 25% Masham, and 10% Cashmere. And this color really called to me. This is the Heirloom colorway. But what I really liked was that with this. And this is the Mellow Yellow. And so these two, I was like, I actually had like 6 skeins in my hand thinking I could do something with all of them together, and I ended up kind of whittling it down. But ironically, when I did that, like the colors I got, oops, sorry, I don't want to knit them together. I want to knit these two together and the other two together. So the other one I got was Offline, which is just this lovely gray, and then Cover to Cover, which is a navy. So these are beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with these together, but I like these two together a lot, and I like these two together a lot. I think these 3 together, it looks a little too patriotic. That actually is nice. I like that. But I think I'm going to do something, hats, mittens, scarves, something like that, where I use these two. They're so nice. Yeah, I love how like, it's like you can see like the dark heathering in there. Like it's obviously a darker base. I don't know if that's the Masham or the BFL. I don't know, but it's very lovely and squishy. While I was at that booth, she had her fiber. It was a collaboration with Wee Chickadee. So Jess from the Mercery had a collaboration with Wee Chickadee fiber, and the colorway is Evermore. It's 100% Targhee, which I love Targhee. So, oh, how pretty is that? I just think this is such a lovely fiber. I saw she had actually, Jess spun this up, and actually I think she had her hand spun there so you could see what it looked like. So pretty, so pretty. So this, I cannot wait to spin this. Uh-oh, the tub is almost full. Oh dears. Okay, this is one I forgot I bought at La Mercerie. This was very much an impulse buy. I'm not mad about it. This is some La Bien-Aimée Merino Twist in the color Really Good Orange, which to me is red. Like, it's a orange leaning red, but it's a red. And this is really soft. it's a merino nylon. It's super wash, so this would actually make great socks. I bought it because I love the color, and I think I was like, it's buried at the bottom, buying all those neutrals. I was like, I needed a bright color. So let's see, we're almost to the end of the yarn. I did make another spin cycle purchase at their booth. They had a colorway that they posted that it's not really my typical colorway, but I was drawn to it and I loved it, so I got some. And this is the Perfect Crime. Like, it's just so fun. So I got 2 skeins of it in Dyed in the Wool, and then they had it in Plump, and so I couldn't resist. And there's part of me that, like, maybe for my nieces, one of my nieces is like sweet and calm and creative and soft-spoken, and my other niece, I joke, she's a thug. She's sweet too. I love them both equally. But she's maybe a little rougher around the edges, and she is a little more feisty, and like the older one is like, when I grow up I want to be an engineer, and the younger one is like, when I grow up I want to be a vampire. So I feel like this might be a good one for the little one. So the bigger one, or the older one, gets the Pale September, and then the little one gets this. I think that could be really funny. But I like how Plump shows the colors just in a magnified way. It's just really fun. So who knows what these are going to be yet. This would actually be a great like Halloween sweater. Maybe. Okay. Then, trying to keep myself organized here. I'll talk about the hat that I really, so if I can find it, I'll insert a picture of the hat that was inspiration for this. There was a booth that sold kits, but I think by the time, and I got some of their yarn, but by the time I got to the booth, I think the kits for this hat had already, were already gone. So I kind of made it up my own. Now I did make it in DK. The hat is chunky, so I'm gonna have to choose something different. But this is the base color I got. This is Coats & Co. Oh gosh, I don't know if you can even see that. I don't know. So this is her Studio DK, or their Studio DK, and this colorway is Svelte. So this is the base color, and then I got, let's see, what colorway is this? Oh, it doesn't say. Boo. Okay, well I got a pink, and I got, well this one does have it on there. This is gold. I don't know what the pink one was called, but those are the first two. And then they didn't have the third color at their booth, so I found it at the Doodle Bar. So this one was, oh, it's just Doodle Bar. So it was the Doodle Baristas are Pacific Knit Co., Yarnaceous Fibers, and Fangirl Fibers. The name of this one, I was like, how do you pronounce this? Is Raralulia. Like a dinosaur, I guess. So this is what this hat's gonna be. I like doing a very muted base color and then the pops in there. I think that's gonna look so fun. So I just need to figure out how I'm gonna make this hat happen with these colors. Opie does have a lot of DK weight hats, so I might just swap out those DK weight colors for this. Okay. We're just gonna keep plotting along. There was another, I think they were Seattle based. I don't know. I think they're Seattle based yarn dyer that I'd never used before, so I bought a skein of their stuff. This is gray drizzle fibers, and it's Merino Storm, and the colorway is Hops. It just felt really pretty. I thought I could mix it in with some of my other DK, or I could just, you know, make a hat or mittens. So actually, this is slightly more rustic. It's still very soft, but this could make good mittens maybe. So options. Okay, we are actually nearing the end, sort of. I haven't gotten into any of the notions I bought. I will get to that. Okay, so I went by, so the booth that had a lot of the AOB kits and things was Ikigai Fibers, which I've never used before, and their yarn is incredibly soft. So it is 75% superwash merino, 25% baby alpaca, and they had a lot of chunky yarn, which is usually not my jam. And so at first, like I think on Saturday, I went by and felt it, and then I was like, oh, it's soft, and then I realized it was chunky, and so I kind of was like, eh. But then what actually got me was they have these balls of little bobble yarn. So it's like a thread. Oh gosh, I hope you can see that. It's a, probably not. It's a thread with a bobble on it. So you can hold it with another yarn and it'll pop through with a little bobble. So I got these two colors, again, thinking I'd make hats. I got two of these. I don't know that I'll need two of these. They had one that was a rainbow, but by the time I got there, they were sold out. So I chose to go with the pale pink. I just thought that'd be pretty. And I was also thinking hats for my niece, but they're only gonna get so many hats. So at some point, these will just be hats for me. Or hats for other people, I guess. I do have other family members that are not my nieces. But yeah, these are so soft and seem really fun. So that may happen. Okay, I've got one more yarn purchase, and then I've got some fiber, and then I've got a lot of notions. So hopefully you're still with me. As I was kind of like, so on Saturday evening when we got back to the hotel room, I lay down all my purchases, and I realized that of all the sweater quantities, everything was very muted, very neutral. And I kind of thought through, okay, if you could get a colorful sweater quantity, what color would you want? And what I really wanted was like a pea green. And so on Sunday, and I said this before, but Sunday was so much more chill. We did go a little bit later. So we got there around 11 on Sunday, and there were still some lines, but it was nothing like Saturday. So it was, I would say if you are somebody that gets really stressed out by crowds, I would just plan to go on Sunday. I still found that most booths had pretty good stock, especially if you got there earlier on Sunday. I think we left by like 2, I think. And by that point, some booths were really getting pretty empty. But if you like don't have anything you have to get and crowds stress you out, I would just come on Sunday. But anyway, so I got to try a new dyer that I've heard of, but I've never tried their yarn before, and I'm very excited about this. So this is from a Taylor Swift collection. This is Sorella in her classic DK, and this is called Blank Space. And I think this is the perfect pea green. So I think typically with DK, I want, well, let's see, why did I do that? I don't know what pattern I was thinking of, but I was like doing the math and I was like, I need 7 skeins. Whereas most of the time with DK, I get 5. Well, she only had 6, so I got all 6 of them. I got them all. And she did say that they're going to have an update, like in a few weeks, I think, or month. I don't remember when, but they're going to have a pre-order, I think, or an update after Flock with the Taylor Swift yarns. They did also, I actually thought about this after I got back to the hotel, and I was like, oh, that would have been such a good idea. But so she had several bases that had stellina in them. And so it's just like this, but with stellina. And I thought, I didn't look close enough. They may not have had a DK with stellina, but I was like, that could have been your 7th skein. You could have had like a sparkle stripe in there, but that's okay. I'm still thrilled with this. I don't know what it's going to make yet, but I wanted a pea green sweater, and I got myself a pea green sweater. So, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to, oh no, you've come undone. I'm not good at putting these back. Okay, I'm gonna have to send it or like post a picture of this tub when I get done because it's already overflowing. Okay. Okay, we're done with the yarn purchases. Now we're on to fiber. So I got a 3 braids of fiber that I'm so pumped about, other than the 2 I've already shown. So this is from the Little Fiber Company. I've been following her on Instagram, and I love her colors. They're so pretty. And so I kind of knew like, okay, I need to get some of her fiber. And she actually had several different bases, and I'd say my 2 favorite bases to spin so far are Targhee and Cordale. I love Corey. Am I thinking of that right? No, it's Cormo. Well, I got some Cordale. Cormo and Targhee are my favorite. I like Cordale too. I do sometimes find Cordale to be a little itchy, but I can spin it in a lighter way and make it a little less itchy. So this is Pairs Wheel with Friends. I think this is just going to be so pretty. I think she actually did have a sample skein that was spun up, and it was like gorgeous. Because look at all those pretty colors in there. Ugh. And I also like that this is like a tiny little braid. It's still 4 ounces. It's very compacted, so I'm gonna have to pre-stretch it before I spin it. But it's it packs easily, which is nice. So, and then the last two fibers I got were from Hello Lavender. I was also, this is one that I would say it wasn't a absolutely have to get it because I knew she was going to do a pre-order, but it was, if I can get it, I want to. So the first one I got was the Flock colorway. This is Rambouillet. Look how beautiful that is. It's like subtle changes, but you got those yellows and pinks and blues and oranges. So excited about that. And then the next one I got, I think all of her, oh, this was Falkland. It's 26 micron Falkland wool, so it's very, very soft. And this is the Tropical Sunset. And I think on day 1 or day 2, I don't remember which one, Reshma was actually wearing a top out of her handspun that was this colorway, and it was beautiful. Somebody else also commented on how her fiber was like criminally underpriced, and I will agree. Like, this was $22 and it's worth more than that. I think the other one was $24. So like, I would pay more. I'd pay like $30 for these. I'm glad that, you know, I'm happy to not be spending more money, but I do think with how beautiful these are, they're a little underpriced. But very excited. So that's all the fiber I got. Okay. So I got a bag, a little like Notion-y bag. I actually bought this for a different reason and then realized it was the perfect size to hold all the little things I got. So this was from Do You Knit. This is Love It Designs Netherlands, I think. So these are kind of like the Hello Amsterdam bags. It's a different brand, but the fabric is all hand painted and then they're sewn into bags. And I love the like pink zipper on it. This really is too small probably to fit a knitting project. Maybe a sock could fit in here, but it's flat, so it doesn't have a lot of extra give, but it is perfect for all of the notions I bought. So these are not in any order, so I'm just gonna pull these out and talk about them as I come. So this was from Yarnatius Fibers. This was in the Doodle Bar. These are some stitch blockers. They're little cacti. I really hope, oh gosh, guys, if this doesn't focus, this is gonna be terrible in this section. So I got those. Also in the Doodle Bar, I got the Seattle Doodle Deck, which is really cute. So maybe with all my colorwork stuff, I can do like a cowl. They do have cards in here that give you instructions for how to do like a basic cowl or like an infinity cowl or just a straight cowl. So maybe I'll do some of those for that. Okay, there was one, where'd the other thing in this go? Okay, there it is. Okay, so making, no, I forgot the name. Shoot. It wasn't Making Stories. It was like Makers. Oh no. And they don't have it written on here. Otherwise I'd totally tell you. It's not Making Stories. That was the book I got. But it's the one that makes the Maker's Notebook. They had some tools that were so cute, and I don't need them, but I want them. So the first is this little gauge ruler with the scalloped edge. I think I've actually already used this, so there's that. And then they have a stitch counter that's wooden. How cute is that? So you just turn the little thing to make it go. Yeah, super cute. I saw these advertised before and I was like, ooh, if I can find where that is, I want one. Okay. And also this is where I kept all my like little bags and like things I don't want to lose, but I don't. So when I was at Mercery, I got one of these just because I tend to lose these like crazy. There we go, we got it in the right direction. So yeah, I think I have 2 of these and I've lost all the others. So then I've already opened these. I've actually already used 2. Oh dang, I used 2 of them and I think they're at the bottom of a project bag. So I bought some of these for my mom last year and then I realized I wanted some. So these are stitch blockers from, or like needle blockers from Denim and Rain. There's a pea green one on there that I'm already using. Okay, and then I got myself some Hello Lavender stitch markers. This is the first one I got, and I was like, I'm trying to make them all lay the correct way. I saw her making these and I was like, I want this. It's a little cameo. How cute is that? So I hope you guys can see that. They're also like, I was kind of worried they'd be heavy. This is not. These are so lightweight. So that was the first one I got, and then I got this one. I've already started using one of them on my poppy tee, but these were just, okay, there we go. These were just little painted florals. So pretty. I just think the skill that goes into making those is outrageous. And then on Sunday we went back by and they still had a few, and so I thought this one was cute because it had a little rain cloud on it. So that is like, yeah, it's just a cute little set. So I got 3 sets of that, and then the last little notion I got was I was actually embarrassed about this. So one of the booths had Tuft Woolens stuff, and so this is like a lip balm, hand body balm of all kinds. And I picked it up, so I was like picking things up and smelling them, and this was the first one I was like, ooh, I like the smell of this one. And I read on it pink peppercorn. I don't know if you can read that. Gosh, guys, I apologize for the lack of focus on this thing. It doesn't say pink peppercorn, it says pink peppermint, which makes a lot of sense because it is peppermint scented. But my brain was like, ooh, I like the peppercorn one. No, peppermint, but it's very nice. Okay, we're at an hour and a half, not too bad. But we're not done yet. We're almost there. Okay. So I'm just gonna show these because I think they're really fun. So my mom and I went on Sunday after, I think it was after, yeah. No, we went before. So we went before Flock on Sunday. We went down to the Pike Place Market and we got a few goodies there. So this is the first one I got these last year and they were so good. I went back and got another 10 of them. So there's a cookie maker in the Pike Market called Bite Society, and they make one that's chocolate and chipotle. They call them before dinner cookies because they are not super sweet, but they're just these little, no, it fell. Ooh. 5-second roll, guys. Yeah, it's little like butter cookies. They are spicy. I love chocolate and chili, and I just love their design. Like their artwork is so good, and you can actually buy them online. I got this and I got the orange fennel ones, which are delicious. And then we went to De Laurentiis. I hope I'm saying that right. They have like an entire section of specialty chocolates. And I'm not usually a big chocolate person, but they had some real funky ones in there that I was like, I just want to try them. These are things I can't get back home. I mean, I think I looked up one of the brands. I can't actually buy it online, but like, I'm probably not going to. So I've tried all 3 of these. My favorite so far is this one. Gosh, I hope you can read that. So this is Mike and Becky. It's 65% dark chocolate with Indian spices, and it's got like chai spices in it. This is so good. It is insanely good. I'm kind of sad I only got one. Actually, my parents are going back to Seattle like in a couple weeks, and I've already told my mom. I had her take a picture, and I was like, buy me another one of these. This is the weirdest one I got. This is Fossa chocolate with chrysanthemums in it, and it tastes a little bit like potpourri. It's still good. I don't dislike it, but it's weird. And then the last one I got, I'll be honest, I entirely bought this because it looked like a Wes Anderson, but this is 75% dark chocolate with pink pepper in it. And this is not a subtle chocolate. This will wake you up. I tried some of this in the airport and I was just like, oh, it is pungent, but it's also delicious. So there's my non-yarn purchases. Okay. I have a couple giveaways. So if you made it to the end, here are the giveaways. So I wanted to do a giveaway of yarn and a giveaway of fiber. So I wanted to pick things that were things you would get at Flock or like very local to Seattle or something, like something that was very specific to Flock. So the yarn one, I got some earthy sock from Explorer Knits in the Flock colorway. I just think this is so pretty. So this is showing pretty light. It's actually quite a bit darker. Like that's more accurate. So it's a fairly dark colorway. This is 100% superwash, non-superwash merino. It is 436 yards and 100 grams. So you can definitely get a full pair of socks. And then I also, with this is coming some Flock stitch markers. I did open this little pouch just because I wanted to see what they look like. I did not take any, but they're these little round, colorful stitch markers in there. So, okay, so the question to enter for this giveaway, the question I want you to answer is, it's a would you rather. Would you rather always knit with the same yarn or always knit with the same color? So what would you rather? If you answer that in the comments below, I will choose a winner from that for the yarn combo and the stitch marker combo. I am going to podcast again probably in 2 weeks, and so I will pick a winner and I will announce the winner on the screen in the podcast. I will not DM you. I will not ask you for money. I think with this one I can probably keep, this is small enough that I could probably do this one anywhere in the world. So yeah, so let me know, would you rather always knit with the same color yarn or always knit with the exact same yarn? Okay. The fiber giveaway, and y'all, I actually thought of a second question and I'm blanking on it now. Let me go look. Okay, we're back. Okay, so the fiber giveaway is the Wee Chickadee Flock colorway called Evermore. So this is 4 ounces. It is Targhee, hand dyed in Oregon. So this was what La Mercerie used. And then my mom and I, we were walking through the Pike Marketplace. There was a merchant there that was selling micro crocheted earrings, well, jewelry in general. And they're little strawberries. Like, how cute are those? So I thought that kind of looked similar colorways. But I actually, ooh, I gotta find it. I forgot. I got a ring from them. It's at the bottom of one of my knitting bags. But, oh, I gotta find that now. Yeah, there we go. Look at this little micro, oh no, it's all wonky now. Like, it's a little daisy. How cute is that? So, but the other one are strawberries, and they do have like that little flower at the top. So to win the fiber and the earring prize, the question to answer is also a would you rather. So would you rather always have time to knit or always hit gauge without swatching? So if you answer that one, you'll be entered to win the fiber prize. This one is a little bigger, so I am going to keep this one just in the US so I don't have to pay a ton of money for shipping. Actually, you know what? No, that one can be open anywhere because it's light. I can squish it down. So both of these are open worldwide. You can enter for both, but you cannot win both. So if you want to enter for both, I'll do a random comment picker. And if you happen to get both of them, then I will pick another person for the other prize. So, but feel free to enter for both. And again, I will be podcasting again in 2 weeks, and I will I'll use a random comment generator or picker, and I'll do that before I podcast, and I will put on the screen who the winner is. And I will actually have you reach out to me via email. So again, I'm not going to DM you. I'm not going to send you emails asking for personal information or money. I will leave that up to you to initiate with me. Whew, y'all. I just looked at the timer on this. I was like, oh, we've only been going for 2 minutes. That's because I had to restart. Okay, so today is a relatively chill day. I did a lot of my errands yesterday, so I didn't have to do as many today. I do have a new shelf coming in later today, so I'm going to spend a lot of my afternoon and my evening reorganizing all my yarn. It's going to feel good because this bedroom right now is a bit chaotic just because there's stuff everywhere, and once it's all on the shelves and all put away in the closet, it's just going to feel so much nicer. So the other thing, I'm not going to get into this too much because this video is already very long, but while we were at Flock, we were at La Mercerie, and they had some fabric there, and it was expensive. It was Merchant & Mills linen, so it was expensive fabric. I did not buy any, but it got me really thinking, and I've kind of fallen down this rabbit hole in the last few days. I already own a sewing machine and a serger. My grandma gave them to me. Now the sewing machine is fairly old, but it still works. And back in the early days of the pandemic, I was sewing masks like crazy, but I'm not a great sewist. I've never sewn garments before. But it really got me thinking that I want to try. So I ordered a couple patterns from Sew Liberated. I didn't want to have to go through a printer, so I just had the printed patterns. They're going to be mailed to me. And I bought some cheap fabric at Michael's. I think I might try to make the estuary skirt. I don't know if that one feels a little bit complicated, but I'm not, like, my first sweater that I knit was an Elizabeth Zimmerman make your own sweater, essentially. So you figure out your gauge, and then she gives you percentages and tells you kind of roughly how to make it. And then I actually did stranded color work on that sweater. So that was my first sweater. So obviously I like to start big. So I don't think I actually tried several years ago. I got the Merchant & Mills Sewist workbook, and I hated it. I hated it because you had to start with things that you had to start with a messenger bag that looked terrible. Like, even the pictures they showed, I didn't like it. And then you had to knit or sew an ironing board cover. And I didn't want to do that. Or a bolster pillow cover. That's hard to say. Bolster pillow cover. I was like, I don't want that. I don't have bolster pillows in my house. Like, why would I do that? So I gave up on that. But I think starting with a skirt, cheap fabric, spent $30 on the whole thing. And kind of just learn how to fix my mistakes as I go. But if you guys have any good resources, please let me know, both for fabric, patterns, how-tos. If you are a sewist, let me know. I might hit you up for some advice. But I don't know when my patterns are getting in. I have a couple patterns at home that I bought before. One of them was a Merchant & Mills pattern that I think they have now expanded their size range, but I bought it. I think this was another reason I didn't start doing it, is when I bought it, I got home and realized it didn't even have my size in it. So that's annoying. But so if you have any advice or resources, please let me know. What else was I gonna say? So this weekend, great timing, is the Oklahoma fiber crawl or yarn crawl. So it's all over Oklahoma. It was yesterday and today. I think it goes on next week. The timing is not great for me because I've already spent a lot of money on yarn, but I really want to support the Oklahoma yarn shops. And I really want this to continue being a thing. Hopefully not the week after Flock in the future. But there is one yarn shop up in Guthrie called Sealed with a Kiss. I've never been there. Guthrie's about 30 minutes away from me, so I think I'm gonna try to go up there today. I'm not planning on buying tons of yarn, but they do have some yarns that I've never felt before and that I've never worked with before, so I'm kind of interested to see. I might come home with a sweater's quantity. I'm not gonna promise anything, but I don't have any plans to buy a ton of stuff there. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that later today. I'm gonna try to get that done before the shelf gets delivered, because I would like to just have all of the yarn out before I have to start reorganizing things. Oh guys. But I might also start, so right now the way I podcast is I'm sitting by the window and right in front of me is the guest bed, and so there's actually not a big enough space for the tripod to fit super well, so it's always on an angle. But the third shelf will be outside of the bed, like past the bed, and so I might actually be able to like adjust my angle with filming. Not that that's that important, but yeah, so might look different next time, we'll see. But yeah, so that's my day. I have a lot of laundry to do today. I'm gonna tidy my house and get ready for the week. I hope you guys have a good couple weeks. I hope you get lots of time for knitting or crocheting or whatever your craft is. I hope you get some time to relax, spend some time with friends and family, and get some time to move your body. I have to mow my lawn today, so that is going to be my exercise for today. My lawn looks terrible. I didn't mow it before I left for flock, and we actually did get some rain, and so it's going to be a workout, but that's good. So I will see you guys back in 2 weeks with 2 winners to the giveaways. So I will see you guys back. I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye.